Always been a big fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Grand fan de Jean-Claude Van Damme.
St. Pierre, looking like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What do you think about G.S.P being the next Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I feel sometimes like the Canadian version of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I was on mount position on top of him, and I just I show him my fist, make him understand that if I wanted to hit him more, cause a lot of damage, I could have done it.
I was watching a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and my father is a black belt himself.
Don't even say Bloodsport. You were watching Bloodsport?
Oh, everything. I didn't miss one. Back in the days, MMA didn't exist at the time. It had a big effect on me.
from a traditional martial art background, and respect is the number one thing. Trash talking, it's easy to do. Fighting, it's another thing. Maybe I'm an easy guy to trash talk against, but I'm a hard guy to fight. When I have people that trash talk a lot about me, it boosts up my adrenaline. Instead of looking like a fool, I'd rather just zip it and talk with my fists.
He's not gonna beat me on the ground. That's my world. He'll out-wrestle me. George St. Pierre will out-wrestle me. Come on, that's what I do best, man. I've been wrestling since I've been 5 years old.
Oh, good takedown. Good takedown of the world-class wrestler. That's a humiliating round for him. Taken down and controlled by a man he said wouldn't be able to take him down.
I have a lot of heart, and I'm a fighter. I don't think he has heart. I think George St. Pierre has a very, very thin heart. You know, he's a 10-man.
St. Pierre was anchored when in an interview, Frank Drake referred to him as a B-level fighter.
St. Pierre, you said he was a B-level fighter. He's not a B-level fighter. He did well against Hughes.
Was I wrong? Did I lie? Did I make something up? Yeah, he was against Hughes. He's a B-level fighter.
It seems like George St. Pierre is fighting almost an amateur. That is the most completely, totally dominated I've ever seen Frank Drake.
It's going to be interesting to see if he can take Thiago Alves down when Hughes and Koscheck had so much trouble with it.
Pitbull is so hard to take down. People don't know how good that guy is. And we've written a lot of good wrestlers in Thiago down, and nobody can do it. Hughes couldn't do it. Koscheck couldn't do it. Cal Parisian. Those are great takedown guys. None of those guys could do it.
He had a chance to fight in the Olympics for the Canadian wrestling team.
Yeah, imagine that. No high school wrestling, no college, straight to the Olympics.
I'm gonna take the best pound-for-pound fighter and I'm gonna knock him out. That's many different ways that I can beat George, but I'm gonna look for the knockout.
Thiago's bleeding very badly from his nose, Mike.
The thing I've noticed the most out of St. Pierre in his last performances is he's become a wrestler. Since getting knocked out, he's been unwilling to stand and trade with people. To me, that shows that he's afraid to get knocked out.
John Fitch is a good teammate of mine, and John Fitch says that G.S.P. does not stand and strike like he used to.
UFC 82 in Columbus, Fitch said that you no longer like to stand up and trade and would rather take the fight down to the ground.
John Fitch hasn't lost a fight in more than 5 years. 15-fight win streak on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by unanimous decision. George St.
Mayhem wants to get this fight to the ground. He believes that's where his strength lies. And looks like St. Pierre takes his strength.
And now St. Pierre, he does have a wrestling and jiu-jitsu background.
But you know what? Not on the ground like Mayhem. Mayhem is light years beyond him. They're on the ground. Mayhem is very, very good on the ground.
He said over and over this week in visiting with him, he certainly doesn't think that St. Pierre can handle him on the ground.
Jason Mayhem Miller has a great guard. George St. Pierre passes again. I thought Mayhem Miller was going to be better on the ground. In the words of Eddie Bravo, he said Mayhem Miller was 8 years ahead.
Yo, I got my ass whooped tonight. Yo, I got outclassed. Yo, George St. Pierre's the man.
I'm the wild man Thomas Denny. Came up here from California to kick some Canadian ass. I'm here to fight George of the Jungle, but he better watch out for that knee.
Here come the knees, starting to work those knees, absolutely. St. Pierre is unloading with those knees.
In this position, he almost punched a hole in Denny's forehead. Oh, another knee strike from George St. Pierre.
He's got just enough time to open up here.
Fantastic knee. He's passing right here. Watch. This fight's over. George St. Pierre out of nowhere with the knee that opened up a cut on Thomas Denny that looks like a stab wound.
It's those knees we've been talking about all night.
I'm just not used to the knees on the ground. The guy's a hell of a fighter. You know, came out there, I tried to throw with him a little bit, but you know, back in the States, we have the rule where you can't knee on the ground. So I was fine with his elbows, but his knees kept catching me. I guess I got cut.
All I know is if any opportunity presents itself, I'm going to jump on it right away. Looking to slam some elbows in his face.
Nice elbows. Damaging elbows by George St. Pierre. Who's to stop fights. Sean Sherk looks to be in pain.
Sean Sherk could not withstand an assault of elbows by George St. Pierre.
You know,
I've never been stopped in my career. I've been fighting for 6 years. Nobody's ever stopped me. Nobody's ever hurt me. So that was the first time.
The first round, I would hit him with some clean shots. I would move around. I'd defend a couple of his takedowns.
I mean, anytime he wants, take the fight to the ground. Look at this, over and over again. There's never even been an inkling, just a slight hint that Dan Hardy can stop this.
In his sunbar, 20 seconds, looking for the armbar. Can he finish?
And then the second round, I would put a lot of pressure on him, land a lot of heavy shots, stuff all his takedowns.
You know, it is going to be so hard for anyone in this division to stop this guy from taking you down, stop his grappling. He's got to look out for that Kimura. He's going to rip his arm off. Oh!
Sunday the 28th of March is going to be a good day. A good day for Dan Hardy.
What did you learn about yourself taking on one of the best in the business of all time?
I learned my wrestling sucks. I'm too stubborn for my own good.
George St. Pierre coming up next. I honestly, to myself, I don't see this fight as being much of a problem.
He was hit with a thumb in the eye early in the fight, and then he was also hit by a nice uppercut, and it broke his nose, and he was bleeding very badly from his nose.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was afraid. I was really hurt. I was really afraid. He catched me with, I think, a jab right in the eyes. I saw him in double. Sometimes I swing one, and it was not a good one, and I got punched by the other one. I took a step back, and I told myself, now it's really going to show if you're a real warrior or you're somebody who doesn't belong in the octagon.
St. Pierre quickly turned the tide, controlling the final 2 rounds with superior wrestling.
And another takedown by St. Pierre.
Edging out a split decision.
The winner, George St. Pierre!
You got a few takedowns to me. Takedown points is bullshit. It means nothing to me at all.
The reason why I went to the hospital the last time is because I got poked in the eyes. I was cut inside. It's a good learning experience.
What did you learn?
I learned to, because when I fought Matthews, remember I quit. Even before I tapped, I never quit. Now, I think BJ is the same level that Matthews, but a different fighter, but I mean, different style, but I didn't quit.
Do you want G.S.P? You want BJ Penn to fight G.S.P?
BJ, in the locker room before you go out, do you like people talking to you, or do you want to remain by yourself and just stay focused?
My trainers or my family or something, yeah, we can talk, but I don't want no kind of people coming in and touching me and that I don't know.
I pay a man to kiss BJ Penn on the mouth when he was walking on his way to the octagon. And at that precise moment, BJ Penn lost all his focus and all his power, and the fight was mine. Raz, you gotta be stupid to make a statement like that George is gonna run right through me and I'm not gonna be able to last with him.
Watch for the jab of BJ Penn.
BJ also has very elusive head movement. You can see that his conditioning is up to flight. BJ doesn't even look a little bit tired. BJ Penn looks exhausted, Mike.
Joe, which is somewhat surprising, because we've talked about BJ's commitment to fitness.
Guys like Randy Couture that say, he has a hard time getting BJ down. I mean, when you're a former UFC heavyweight champion, has a hard time getting you down, and that's just incredible.
That's a great point.
BJ Penn's guard is notoriously hard to pass. He's legendary for his guard. He passed. Wow. Again, passes. And Penn is getting battered. I mean, come on, man. Has anybody ever done that to BJ before?
Absolutely not.
BJ's nose is bleeding right now.
Cut underneath the eye is the prodigy.
This is one of the first times I think we've ever seen BJ Penn cut. And he can't do anything with GSP. The thing about George St. Pierre that I find most impressive is how honest he is. He even spoke about the first BJ fight. After the first round, he said, I was hurt and I was scared. How many guys say that? How many guys talk like that?
Hey, George, it's not how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
BJ Penn is getting crushed. I don't think physically he can pull anything more out of his body. The beating that he's taken from St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre, a great fighter. Yeah, he's a great fighter, but he's a quitter. He's a front runner. He's going to fold and he's going to quit.
After round 4 of the 5-round fight, BJ Penn's cornerman, Jason Perillo, threw in the towel.
Hey, stop.
I just picked my head up and looked at Perillo and said, thanks for stopping the fight. That could have been the end of my career.
And in the end, he was talking about George, quitting and not having heart. In the end, it was him that quit this fight.
I'm going to go serious, George. I'm going to go to the death. I'm going to try to kill you, and I'm not joking about this.
BJ Penn, did he not say before your fight with him, UFC 94, that he was going to kill you in the ring?
Yes, he did. But he didn't.
You guys were waiting. BJ went to the hospital. George St. Pierre's doing Sports Center.
After the last fight, George, BJ Penn said, you know, he won, but he went to the hospital. I went to the bar. So are you going to the bar tonight? Yes, I'm going to the party tonight.
And of course, BJ Penn's in the hospital tonight. We're hoping he's okay. But tonight, there's going to be some celebrations for George St. Pierre.
Absolutely. Gonna go train my bicep, you know.
Jordan, are you still seeing a sports psychologist?
Yes, it helped me to combine with my training.
Good to hear that George has a sports psychologist. Does that help you out, George? You got psychological problems or what?
I got my butt kicked out there, you know. I got beat up pretty bad. I was in a depression for a long time, just sick with life, and you got all these emotions and all these things going on.
Since I'm here, I might as well finish some unfinished business with George St. Pierre. Unfortunately, he's the guy in front of me that's going to have to take my rap.
He's taking the choke. This one could be over, folks. And it's over. Huge win for St. Pierre.
I mean, St. Pierre, his strength is jiu-jitsu and wrestling as well. I just think Caro is the superior grappler.
6 junior national judo crowns.
He's right now currently one of the top 3 in the country in judo. This guy's a legendary grappler in Los Angeles.
Big right hand. Oh, and another big elbow. Oh, and a big left. He is bleeding over the right eye.
Does not look good for Caro here.
When I fought Matt Hughes the first time, I remember in the stare downs, I couldn't even look him in the eyes because I was too impressed. I was fighting my idol. I was fighting a guy that, for me, it was impossible to beat. I remember in the first fight, I put him down right in the beginning of the fight, and when I put him down, I didn't even realize it. I was like, wow, I put Matt Hughes down, and when I realized it, he just got back up.
He made a mistake. Doesn't change anything to whatever he thought going into the fight.
As many of you know, George has been asking for his second shot at the UFC welterweight title. Well, I'm here to tell you, buddy, your wait is over.
So much stronger mentally than he was at UFC 50 when they first met. Hero worship is gone. He definitely stared him down.
Into that first round, he'll go, you know what? I survived a round with Matt Hughes. That's good enough with me.
Superman punch caught him. Hughes is over. Hughes is hurt. And the round is over. Round is over.
I've said a lot of stuff before, like, oh, he's a Canadian.
Canada, I mean, who wants to lose to a Canadian in a street fight? I mean, come on.
Oh, big hit. That goes him. St. Pierre tries to finish it. He's big time hurt with the elbow. And it's over.
Canadian welterweight champion, boy, that doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
The new UFC welterweight champion of the world, George Rush St. Pierre.
Matt Hughes and George St. Pierre. I have an inclination that they will fight again. In 48 fights, Hughes has been submitted just 3 times. Knees inside, another takedown by St. Pierre. Takedown.
Teach me something. At one condition, if you teach me on one thing too. If you teach me something, I teach you something. If you teach me something, I teach.
Trying to submit Hughes. Not quite yet. And it's all over. It is all over.
He taps verbally, and Steve Mazzagatti separates them.
George St. Pierre is coming off this devastating victory over Matt Hughes. Sarah, on the other hand, is coming off of a lackluster, very close victory against Chris Lytle. If you look at that on paper, that is a recipe for a guy taking a guy lightly.
I can only pray that he's taking me lightly.
If I was going to fight Matt Hughes, I would never take that fight. But I told myself, oh, it's Matt Serra, I can beat this guy easy. To me, you know, he figured he'd beat me easy, and how do I not get insulted by that?
Matt Serra taking the belt from George St. Pierre, I think was expected, you know. He was the underdog. George St. Pierre probably didn't train as hard as he should have.
I think the one guy maybe he took a bit lightly was Matt Serra.
And it's a right hand. This first punch that we're going to see here, did it hurt you?
Right on the spot. I lost my equilibrium. I tried to get back as much as I can.
There it is.
Yeah, right there it was there.
And this is when that shot comes in, the overhand right.
Yeah, right there. You see, he cut me right behind the hair. Now, right now, it was gone. Like, my equilibrium was gone.
It was a big right hook, boom, behind the ear, and it's a very short hook, and it's the back, and nobody trains for that, you know, because if you hit yourself here, you feel how much impact that has.
In that fight, we all kind of were talking about it beforehand. We felt you got caught behind the ear, which any fighter knows. If you get punched in equilibrium behind the ear, it'll shake you up.
People were saying that GSP's chin is suspect, and he responded with, well, Matt didn't hit me in the chin, he hit me in the back of the ear, so my chin is fine. What do you say about that?
I mean, you know what, the first shot might have been wherever, but...
I'm glad the ref stopped the fight. A lot of fighters complain sometimes, but the ref did an amazing job because I couldn't defend myself intelligently, and I could have a concussion and permanent, like
and
bad damage.
You indicated to John right that you wanted to stop it, right?
Absolutely. I'm gonna get back another time, and I'm gonna have another chance.
His mind's not right. I heard one interview him say, like, thank God the ref was there to stop the fight, or I would have got hurt or permanently scarred. I'm like, you got kidding me. I'm like, you a fighter? I said, that's the difference with Serra. It's been up to happen.
So Nick Serra is almost on empty. Makowski, the younger fighter, senses it. Well, Serra getting up slowly. There's a kick behind the knee again. And Serra just falling down.
Stand up, you're disqualified.
Serra cannot get to his feet. This is over. Makowski forcing Nick Serra to quit.
To have the referee ask you to get up and you're unable to get up, is it a lack of heart?
He gave up. He jumped down and said, look, please stop beating me, Matt. I'm good for the night.
It's funny, too, because I make fun of the guys that cry. I'm like, you pussy, what you crying for, you know? But you put so much into it, you know?
You're full of shit. You're not even training, are you, Frenchie? You know what I mean? Drink your red wine, go to your hockey game, and shut the fuck up.
And he doesn't only insult me, he insults the whole francophone population.
Ooh, oh my God! Should I apologize about saying Frenchie? No, I don't care.
Oh, for the record, I don't hate the French. Can I just get that out there? I know I said Frenchie at some point. I have nothing against the French. Come on.
Promise my fam, I will be champion again. I promise. I promise. And I'm a man of my word.
Prepare the platform for the final match.
I know that this guy is going to have to want to come back and make an example of me, and I'm not going to be making an example.
You talked about it a lot. Nice Superman punch. Serra again is forced to the mat. Got a mouse under the right eye, Serra. Knees.
I'm going to get my ass beat? All right, we'll see. You know, I don't think so.
Serra turns. GSP doesn't stop. Oh, big ones there. Spinning back kick. Got to get those hands up, Matt Serra.
Montreal is going to work to our advantage.
First minute or last minute, he's getting I don't know, swear. He's going to get up either the first minute or last minute or not.
20 seconds remains. 4 knees by GSP.
GSP is now widely considered to be the world's best pound-for-pound fighter.
Arguably the most well-rounded fighter in mixed martial arts. Arguably the best fighter in the world in mixed martial arts, pound for pound.
Many have argued that St. Pierre has moved to the top of the list of greatest pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Pound for pound, who's the best fighter in the world?
I like George St. Pierre. He's unbelievable.
Top 3 pound for pound in the world, not including you?
You know, I probably have to go with GSP.
Who is the best pound-for-pound fighter in MMA, Brian?
GSP.
Okay, Dan?
I'd probably agree with you. Guys, I think I'm sitting next to the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world today.
He's one of the most intelligent fighters there is in MMA right now. I'm immensely impressed.
George St. Pierre.
He is awesome.
GSP.
Incredibly talented.
G.S.P.
Amazing. I love the guy. G.S.P. I gotta say more than one word.
Look at George. I mean, every time he steps behind the guy looks, like a different robot.
I think G.S.P. is on a whole nother level right now. He's a machine.
The best athlete I've ever seen, any sport, Michael Jordan, Roy Jones, doesn't matter, is G.S.P.
I mean, if you look at G.S.P., I gotta tell you, he's the Michael Jordan of the UFC.
G.S.P. Yeah, he's just phenomenal.
GSP all the way. He's a guy who can put the game together very efficiently.
Man, St. Pierre is doing a lot. I mean, it's not just talent. You have to have discipline. St. Pierre, for instance, is a perfect example for that.
I think George St. Pierre is one of the best wrestling in UFC.
George St. Pierre is one of the most explosive guys there is.
The guys that I really like, they're still going at it. They're still fighting.
Who are they?
GSP, George St. Pierre, he's a good guy. I want to fight George St. Pierre, I don't lay an option, that's the only fight I'm fighting about.
I'm a UFC champion. 3비를 남쪽에서 비디에 때문에
더 열심히 해서 더 강해지고 나중에 조르 생피어 벨트를 뺏어보겠습니다.
Jake Shields, I offer you your dream matchup right now in your career. You can fight anyone in the world. Who is it?
I fight GSP. I think he's clearly the best welterweight in the world right now, and you could argue he's the best pound for pound. So I would love to have that fight.
The fighter of the night award,
I'm going to give it to George St. Pierre.
He's now the new Canadian welterweight champion.
St. Pierre wearing the belt and wearing it proud.
My dream is to go fight in UFC once or a couple of times to make my name over there.
I want to congratulate you and present you with the award for Canada's 2008 Athlete of the Year.
George, my pleasure to present to you Sportsnet's 2009 Canadian Athlete of the Year award.
Fighter of the Year. And the winner is George St. Pierre.
The fighter of the year, George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre. He's my favorite fighter.
Were you surprised when you heard that you were nominated for an ESPY award?
And the most dangerous man is George St. Pierre.
I thought my dad was the toughest guy in the world. He was a black belt, and I remember when I was a kid, he broke a brick in front of me and some of my friends, and we were like, whoa.
I'm Lynn. You Jackson? You look like it, Jackson.
I used to watch Bloodsport, Van Damme movies growing up where it'd be a tournament situation.
I tamo je tad stigao film Kraj sport od Van Damme. I ja mi tamo ekipa gledala to, i ja kao sad ćemo gledati film i pustio film, mislim ja sam neće spao kad sedi Van Damme, gađa to pokreti, špaga na 2 stolice i ja sam...
In a kid's dreams, seeing Bloodsport and seeing whatever and thinking, wow, that would be really cool if that really exists, I'd like to do that. And then, lo and behold, someone created it.